told you earlier, today we'll discuss files. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today we'll discuss files. Do you have any idea what is a file? Yes, anybody? Any idea what is a file? Come on, say yes or no. Yes. Any idea what is a file? Say something.
No, sir.
But you have been creating files and sharing those with me as your assignments. You're creating program files and all sorts of files. So how how would you define a file? So don't tell me no.
It's a collection of a data.
Collection of data. Anybody else? Nitin, say it again. What is a file? Instead of saying no. What's your idea?
सर किसी भी फाइल ਨੂੰ रीड ਜਾਂ ਰਾਈਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
That's a different thing. But I'm asking is what is a file?
सर किसी एक यूनिट के अंदर मतलब कुछ डेटा को मतलब स्टोर होता है, उसको फाइल बोलते हैं.
See, in computers, whatever is stored, whatever data is stored, or whatever programs are there, they all are organized in a unit called file. Is it clear? Whatever data, whatever programs are there in a computer, they all are organized in a unit we call file. Just like you people have your notebooks, your books, all those are otherwise files, right? From which you may read, you may write. So the different operations that we can perform on files are so first of all, you need to open the file, then you will perform read or write operation, and then you need to close the file. This is what you do with your notebooks or your books. Am I right?
yes sir
So these are the basic operations. In case of computers, I told you whatever is stored on your secondary storage media, it may be your hard disk, it may be your pen drive, it may be your SD card, it may be anything. Whatever is stored on secondary storage media, that is in terms of files only, right? Data is not directly visible to you, right? It is visible to you in terms of files, like your program files or your music files. They are different types. So broadly, files can be categorized into text and binary files. Okay, text and binary file. Text file means when you will open the file, you'll be able to see the content. You'll be able to read the content, and it has got a different meaning also, right? We'll discuss these two text and binary files a little later. Basically, the difference between them we'll discuss it probably tomorrow. Today we'll focus mainly on text files. Okay, so as I told you, a file can be opened and then read or can be written into it, then it is closed. The modes, basic modes of opening files, let me show you those. Here we have, these are the modes and then these are the descriptions. So when you are opening a file, you need to specify whether you are opening it for reading or writing or something else. So these are the different modes. Read R means you're opening a file for reading. This is by default. If you're not specifying mode at the time of opening a file, then it means by default you're opening it for reading. Second is writing. If you want to write to a file, then you will use this mode. If the file is already existing, then the contents will be overwritten. If the file doesn't exist, then a new file will be created. Then X, this is something very important. It will open or it will create a file in exclusive mode. It means if the file is already existing, then it will cause an error, right? Operation will fail. X means exclusive creation. It means file should not exist. the file which you are going to create or open for writing, it should not exist, right? If it is existing, I told you, the operation will fail. Next is A. A is for append. It means file is already existing. You are opening it for writing, and the pointer will move to end of the file. If the file doesn't exist, a new file will be created, right? Next is the modes text and binary. By default, all the files are opened in text mode. If you want to open it in binary mode, then you'll have to write B. Now this plus is important. It opens a file for reading as well as writing. For example, if I'm opening basically a file for reading and I'm writing plus, it means the file can be read as well as written. Similarly, W plus, it means a file has been opened for writing, but it can be read also. Similarly, there is A plus mode. It means you can open a file for append. Append is clear. It means contains the basic difference between write and append. Let me tell you. In case of W, write mode, if the file is existing, it will be opened and the contents will be overwritten, right? The existing contents will be lost. But in case of A, which is append, file will be opened for writing, existing contents will remain there, and new contents will be added at the end of the file. This is the basic difference. So let me write it again. W plus means write and read. A plus means append and read. These modes are clear to you? Yes, these
Yes,
modes are
sir.
clear. Okay, I'll save it and then share it with you. Okay, let's write small program now. In Python, handling files is very easy, very easy. Okay, let us create a file. I have already created. Let me remove it from here. Sample.txt. So you will write f is equal to open sample.txt, and here I am writing mode is write mode. Okay, we'll open a file and write something into it. F dot write. I'm writing sample text, and then I'll close it. Let us discuss each and every function here. The very first statement, what it will do, it will open a file sample.txt in write mode. If the file is already existing, I told you the contents will be overwritten, right? If the file is not existing, a new file will be created with the name sample.txt for writing purpose. Now, what is the meaning of this? F is equal to. In this case, when you are writing F is equal to open, the file will be opened. Doesn't matter which mode you are using, the file will be opened and its starting address will be stored in F. Okay, starting address of the file will be stored in F. Basically, if you are opening it in read or write mode, then F will contain the starting address. If you are opening in append mode, then F will contain ending address. Means it will reach to the end of the file. Okay. Now let us see how does it work. Uh, just three statements I have written. First is for opening the file. Second is for writing into the file. Third is close. Since we are opening, it is our responsibility to close the file. Let me run it. Now the file might have been created. Let us see it here. Yes, it is there, sample.txt. And here you can see it is written sample text. Okay, this is what we have written in the file. Alternatively, what we can do, str is equal to input, enter some text to be written to the file. Okay, after reading it, will store it in the file str. Okay, now let's run it. Here it is asking for some text to be written. This is my sample text to be written to file. Okay, I have written this text here. It will be stored in str. Then that str, whatever is contained in str, that will be stored in file. Let us see. It was already existing, so we'll close it. Let us open it again. And here you can read the same text which we had written here. Okay, is it clear? Is this thing clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And it's simple. Up to this point, it is simple.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Now you see, I'm opening it the file in writing mode. I had told you if the file is not existing, a new file will be created. If the file is already existing, then its contents will be overwritten. For example, we had written this is my sample text to be written to file, and I'll change it. I'll simply write my text. Okay. So let's check. So here you can see file is same, but the contents are overwritten now. This is because of write mode. Now, if you want to append something to it, you will write A. What A will do, I have written it here. It will open the file and move the file pointer to end of the file. The contents will remain in the file. Let me show you once again here. The file is containing my text. Okay. Now, if I store something else into it, for example, I'm simply writing more text. Okay. And then let's see what happens. Let's open the file. You can see it here. Now the contents have not been overwritten. More text has been appended. Is this thing clear? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is this thing clear? Okay. Now, if you want to write multiple strings, right? Let us write str is equal to this, while str is not equal to, say, at the rate. We will read a string. Okay, we will read a string and go on storing it in the file. Kab tak? Till str becomes at the rate. Okay, we can check it. If str is not equal to at the rate, then store it in the file, otherwise not. Okay, fine. Let's try this. This is sentence 1. This is sentence 2. And so you see, I have written at the rate. Since this is the terminating point, it will stop here. File was opened in append mode, and let's go and check it. You can see it here, it is writing this is sentence 1, this is sentence 2. Now it's not writing it to new lines because we have not appended new line character here. If I write here /n, let's run it again. So I am writing line 1, line 2, line 3, and at the rate. Oh, line 3 is not defined. Oh, okay, there is some problem. Let's run it again. Line 1, it's exactly one argument. Oh, okay, there is some problem here. Line 1, line 2, line 3, and at the rate. Now let's open the file and see what's been written. Here you can see line 1, new line character, line 2, line 3, and so on. Is it clear up to this point? Yes?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Let me change it back to write mode and then write here line 1, line 2, line 3 at the rate. So it will stop. Once again, look at it. Since we are using write mode, file contents will be overwritten and there is only line 1, line 2, line 3. ये clear है बच्चे?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt up to this point?
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Now let us open the file in reading mode. Okay, we have opened the file in now reading mode. Str is equal to f dot read. There are different modes of reading, and then we will print str. See what will happen. I am not writing, I am not using any loop at all, and you can see it has read all the contents of the file and written those. Clear? Yes, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in this particular case, what we have done, we have written f dot read, not specifying anything else. It means it will read all the contents of the file and write it here. Okay, let me give you one more example. Suppose we pick up some Python file from here, like ctime.python. So let me change it here, ctime.python, which we had created. So we have read all the contents and writing those to the screen. You can see it has displayed whole of the C file, ctime.python file here. It has shown all the contents. Is it clear? Right, starting from here up to the end of the file, it has displayed all the contents of the file. ये clear है बच्चे?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sometimes you want to read one line at a time. Okay. That we'll discuss. But before that, there are other functions. For example, read lines. There's a function f dot read lines. Let's see what it will do. What it will do is it will read all the lines, as you can see here. It will read all the lines and store those, or rather create a list of all the lines. You can see it's starting from here, right? It will read all the lines and it will create a list of all those lines here. Is this thing clear, Vijay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Then one more option is there. Dot split lines. Let's see what will happen in this case. As you can see the difference, once again, a list has been created, but the escape sequence /n is not there. It is not part of it. What it is doing, since we are using read function, it will read all the contents, right? And store, before storing, it will split those red contents into lines while escaping all the, while ignoring all the escape sequences. /n was there. So once again, we have read all the lines from the file and the red content will be treated as a list, as you can see from this square bracket. Okay, now how to read one line at a time? Okay, there are different ways of doing it, many different ways of doing it. Let me discuss the simplest one first. So if you are reading one line at a time, what should be the terminating point? Where will you stop reading? Anybody? When will you stop reading from the file? Anybody? Because we may not know how many lines of text are there. So where should we stop? Anybody, please? If you are reading a book, okay, you want to read whole of the book, where will you stop? Come on, say something. It's a very simple question. If you are reading a book and you want to read whole of the book, where will you stop? Yes, Khushpreet, bolo. If you are reading a book, my question is very, very simple. If you are reading a book and you want to read whole of the book, where will you stop? Khushpreet,
End of content.
Khushpreet. बोलो बच्चे. Taran, you tell me. If we are reading a book and we want to read whole of the book, where will you stop? When will you stop?
Yes, sir, when the content is end.
Okay. In case of file, we'll say that when we reach end of the file, then we will stop. So what I am doing here, in Python, there is no direct way of identifying where is the end of file. So when we are reading, from the file and nothing has been read, means string is empty, then we say we have reached end of the file. Very simple. I repeat, we will read, if you want to read all the contents of the file, one statement at a time, one line at a time, then you will stop when you reach end of the file. In Python, there is no way of knowing where is end of the file. Otherwise, in many other languages like C, C++, Java, there is a identifier EOF, we call EOF, that is end of the file. But in Python, there is no such way. Rather, there is another way. Let me write it. Okay, if I write while one, what will happen? What does it mean? Yes. What is the meaning of while one? अरे बोलो भाई. This is kind of infinite loop. This is kind of infinite loop. Okay. So what we'll write, str is equal to f dot read line. Now it will read one line at a time. If str is equal to, then we will break. So this is the way. If string is empty, it means we have not read anything and we will break. Otherwise, we will print str. Okay. Let me read some small program here. For example, array, it is a long program. Some small program like cdate, it's also a very long program. Class, yet again a long program. C3. Okay, fine. We'll read class 03.python, right? Let me write it here. Class 03.python. Okay. Now we will read one line at a time of this program. As you can see here, since we have okay, here is the program which we have read. You can see it here. One line at a time has been read from this file, and those have been written. If you want to check it, what we can do, we can insert a dummy statement. S is equal to input. It means nothing. You just need to press enter. You can see it here. I'm pressing enter. It is reading one line and displaying it. I'm pressing enter, enter, and so on. Is it clear, Bache?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is one way of doing it. Okay, this is one way of doing reading one line at a time. Other methods. Let me put it in comments. Second method. For str in iterate through, we'll write a lambda here, lambda f dot read. कब तक read करना है? Till we reach an empty space, and then here print str. Once again, it will have the same effect. Let me run it. As you can see, it's working the same way. Okay, if I write here read line, I had read read, it is reading the whole string. Now I have written read line, now it is reading one line at a time. This is again second method. This is the second method of reading a file one line at a time while checking end of file. Is this thing clear? It's a very small function. What lambda is doing,
Yes, sir.
it is reading one line at a time. Okay, so iter means it will iterate through this till terminating condition kya hai, till it is empty. So this is the second method. We have two more methods, at least two more. Let me write the third method here. With open. Now we will not use this here. Let me comment it. We'll open a file here. With open, what was the name of the file? Class 03.python in read mode as f for str in f, print str, else print reached end of file. So what will happen in this case? Till we are able to read a string, it will print. If we are not able to read any string, then it will print and reached end of file. So let me run it again. You can see it here. After reaching end of file, it is writing reached end of file. This is the third method. Ye clear hai bete? Yes, is it clear? You can see
Yes,
it
sir.
here. We have not used the read function in any way here. We are not using read function here. But when you will write with open this as f, f is the name of file. For string in f, we are straight away using a for loop here. So it will be reading string indirectly from f. We are printing those strings, and then if we have reached end of file, if we fail to read a string from f, then it will print reached end of file. This is the third method. So let me write the fourth method. I told you there may be many more. We'll discuss only these four. So once again, we'll write. We need this statement now for fourth method. We'll open it. Strings, or we can write lines. You can write anything here. Is equal to iterate to f dot read line. Okay. While true. It's just like writing while one. Okay. Once again, whether you are writing while one like here or writing while true, it means you are writing an infinite loop and it will be broken based on some condition. The loop will be broken based on some condition. So I am writing a line is equal to, here let's write read lines. It will read all the lines. Then line is equal to next, because we have used an iterator here. So we'll write here next lines print. Oh, wait a minute. Print line else print end of file reached. Let's run it. What is it saying? So we are iterating to, we have opened the file. Okay, lines, we are iterating to lines. ये ठीक है. While true, line is equal to line. Next line, ये ठीक था. Where is the error? Stop iteration. There is some problem with this method. I have to check it. Okay, it's not working. We'll discuss this method tomorrow again. I don't know why it's not working. I'll have to check it. Something is missing probably. Okay, now let me remove all these. Let's use the second method for reading files, for reading lines from the files. And here also we can use else. Else print end of file reached. Let me check it once again. Okay, fine. ये clear है बच्चे यहाँ तक?
Yes, sir.
Okay. आपके माइनर प्रोजेक्ट में जो फाइल थी, जो फाइल्स आपने रीड करनी है, CSV. I have used the sample file there, which is the smallest metadata.csv. So let me run it. And you can see it is reading all the contents from there. So it's that simple to read the content from file. Okay. It will help you in your minor project. Clear है बच्चे ये?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's write a program which will read the data from file and compute the frequency of alphabets and digits. So let us declare frequency of alphabet is equal to 0 into 26. Since we have 26 alphabets, frequency of digit is equal to 0. We have 10 digits. Okay. Let us create a file first for this purpose. Sample.txt को ही ले लेते हैं. Let me write some text here. Sample text 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 8, 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 0, 7, 0. My mobile number. Today's date is 24th. 21. Let's say sometime 34. So there is some data. Send data in the file. I'm not writing anything meaningful. I'm just randomly writing something. Okay. Suppose this is our file. We want to read from this file and find out frequency of alphabets and digits. Okay. So let us open sample.txt. By default, I told you it will be opened in read mode. Now, whether you are writing R or not, that doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. We'll use the first method for str in iteration lambda f dot read line. Okay. So we have read a line from there. Let's find out the length of str. Let's write the second loop. Because we have to find one character, we have to deal with one character at a time. For I in range L, C is equal to stri. If C dot is digit, if it is a digit, we will increment its corresponding frequency. Frequency of digit. Now we have to find its address. So we will write ordinal of C minus ordinal of 0. I hope you remember we had done it earlier also. That frequency will be incremented if C dot is alpha, then we will convert it to upper. C is equal to C upper, and the frequency of alphabet ordinal of C, sorry, ordinal of C minus ordinal of capital A plus is equal to 1. Okay. After that, we will write print frequency of A alphabets, print frequency of digits. When we will write, it may not be much meaningful to you, but let's just try this whether some values are being read from the file and it's working, then we'll print it in a meaningful way. Yes, yes, the values have been read. Now let us write it. For I in range, length of frequency of alphabets, print, we will print character I plus I plus ordinal of A, and then slash T frequency A I. Let us print it once. Let's see. ये क्या हुआ? Okay, it was to be like this. Okay. As you can see, now it is printing. It is showing the frequency of all the characters here. Let us eliminate those characters where frequency is 0. If frequency alphabet I is greater than 0, only then we will print it, not otherwise. Let's check it. As you can see, all other characters have been eliminated in the file here. Just a minute. So it says that there are 3 A's, 1, 2, 3. There is 1 D. Yeah, 1 D is there, and so on. Similarly, let's print the frequency of characters. For I, let me copy the whole of it. Instead of A, let us write D here, frequency of digits. And here, instead of A, it should be 0. And frequency of digits. Let's run it again. You can see in this text file, we have 5 zeros. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 4 ones. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is working. Is this thing clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
One thing which I forgot to do here is f dot close, which is very, very important. Okay. ठीक है बच्चे? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose I try to read sample1.txt, which doesn't exist. See what will happen? File not found error. No such file or directory, sample1.txt. So this is an exception. कल आपने क्लास लगाई नहीं, मैंने exceptions discuss किए थे. Don't worry, exceptions हम बाद में कर लेंगे. But how to handle it? Exception क्या होता है?